Yellow Jacket fans, welcome to this week's edition of Up with the White and Gold. I'm your host, Jeremy the Impact York. John is he has some marching band related stuff to do, and he'll be back. He'll be back soon. But until then, you get me to talk all things Georgia Tech, Yellow Jackets football. Let's start right there. They had the bye. They had the bye week coming off the loss to North Carolina State, which I mean, two people, two types of people were making this comment in the past week. The comment being, oh, well, if you're so good, how can you lose to a team like that? Okay. That's one of two things. You're either a hater, which is a very small amount, or you haven't been watching all year. Because even on this very show, we said NC State, the Wolfpack, they're one of those teams that can bring it. And they're looking to disrupt seasons because at absolute best, they're trying to make a bowl game. They need a couple wins to do so. So they're going to play super hard. And also, like I said, I didn't think Georgia Tech was going to run the gambit. Didn't think they were going to run the gauntlet. Didn't think they were going to run it all the way to the end. Didn't I basically didn't think they were going to go undefeated. They were due a loss, possibly a second, but I don't think so. There's a good chance they can run it now. With the only potential loss being at the end of the year, and I'm still not so sure they shouldn't be the favorite in that game. But what has happened, like I said, all of you, how can you? Okay, well, have you seen NC State play? Oh, well, they were 4-4 coming in, so good teams can't lose close games, or good teams can't be 4-4 two-thirds of the way through the season. Hmm, interesting how that goes, huh? Interesting how that goes. So we talked about that law, and they had a week to think about it. And part of that week, they needed to gear up because they have Boston College tomorrow, 3:30 on the ACC network. Georgia Tech did drop to number 16. That's fine. Where are they in the standings? Do we look at? Did I look at that last time? There it is. All right. So Virginia did you a favor. Virginia lost. So there is now a logjam at the top where there are four teams and only two spots. And there's actually yeah, two more teams that could sneak in. Technically a couple more, but Duke at 4-1, Louisville at 4-2, they could sneak into this. But you've got four teams that are currently 5-1. You've got Georgia Tech, you've got Virginia, you've got Pitt, and you've got SMU. Um, all of them having pretty standout years. I still say Tech is the better, not because this is the Tech show, but in seeing what I've seen of Virginia, Georgia Tech and Pitt will match up next week. That might decide who that number two team is, or that basically will probably decide who one of the two teams in the ACC championship is. Um, like I said, Duke and Louisville both have 4 wins. Miami, Wake Forest, Cal, Clemson, who's playing right now, all have 3. I don't see it. I don't see it. They're not going to make the um they're not going to make the ACC tournament. It's going to be Georgia Tech, Virginia, Pitt, or SMU. It's going to be two of those. If I had to guess, I would normally say Pitt, but Pitt and Georgia Tech have to play each other. In fact, Georgia Tech's remaining schedule: Boston College, Pitt, and then Georgia. Virginia has 2 games left. Okay, they will have 2 games left. They have Duke and they have Virginia Tech. Okay. Pitt, we know play. They've got Notre Dame this week. They've got Pitt. No, they've got Notre Dame, they got Georgia Tech, and then they got Miami. They have really got to win that Tech battle. It's really going to come down to that. And then who does SMU have? Just for the sake of it, looking at our screen, they have Louisville next week. They are off this week. What a weird bye week. They have Louisville next week, and then Cal. Yeah, they're going to have to be on it as well. They're absolutely going to have to be on it. Be honest, SMU can sneak in there. They can sneak in there. I say Virginia is team number is one of the teams. I'm not gonna say team one or team two. Virginia is one of them, and the winner of Tech Pitt is probably the second team, and that's what your ACC is going to look like. The winner of that is going to make it into the playoff. Depending on what Tech, Virginia, and Miami do, I'd throw Louisville in there too. Depending on what those four teams do, as to if they don't win the ACC, does one of these other teams get in just based off of overall merits? And it's possible. The Big Ten and the SEC doesn't want you to. They want it to just be those two so they can prove how dominant they are. But the ACC has got some teams this year that can really do some big time things, and that's what we're really looking into at the moment. And yeah, that's just kind of where they are. So let's talk a little bit about this game coming up. There it is. Georgia Tech, Boston College. Boston College not having a great year. They're 9-1. They're 1-9. I wish they were 9-1. Not having a good go of it. But if you're Tech, you can't rest on your laurels that we can beat these guys. We can beat these guys. Oh, they're just 1-9. That's how you get beat a second time, and you go back to back losses. You're really crushing your potential postseason bids. So you go out there, you play Tech football, and you don't have to be mean to them. You should be the better team. 3:30 kickoff is an interesting one. You'll be up north for that one. First off, disrespectful. Anytime you have a spread over 10 or 10.5, is disrespectful in my opinion. Tech's there by 16.5. I don't think they win by more than 16. I think they might win by 10, just because I don't think they're going to really drive the score up. Maybe Brent Key does. Maybe they just by happenstance score a bunch of points. I don't think they might win by 14 or even 15, but I don't think they're going to win by more than 16. The keys to the game, got them over here. The keys to the game. Something you've had a little bit of an issue with, but in the long run, you're getting it going. Establish the run early. I think establish the run. That's going to open up the passing game, and then later on, when you start to get up by a couple scores, that's when you can go back to that running game that you had going earlier on. Two, I'm going to keep saying this one, win the battles of the trenches. Make sure your defensive line is causing chaos to the quarterback and the offensive line of the other team, and make sure your offensive line is keeping all the chaos to a minimum so that Haynes King has all the time in the world to make the world's best decisions and help you to attack victory. And then lastly, basically what I said earlier, don't rest on your laurels. Don't try to cut back or dial it back a little bit, thinking, hey, we're better than them. We should beat them. This should be easy. This should be a cakewalk. No. This is college football. Any given Saturday, you need to keep your focus and need to just do Georgia Tech things. Georgia Tech football, Georgia Tech things, not turn the ball over, just play solid football. And I think you're going to do really good with that. Um, I don't know. How has Boston College did this year? Have they scored 13, 10, 24, 23? All right. All right. So my score can make sense. 31, 31, 20, 31, 20, maybe 34, 20. Somewhere in that range, I think is what we're looking. Um, that's where I've got Tech at this point is score 30, 35 points, call it a day. And just, let some people get some reps. Um, maybe rest some people. That's a good idea. Just really work on things the best you really can. So let me pick some other bigger matchups and tell you what I think about those, and then we will get out of here for the week. Um, yeah, we can talk about that one. Uh, on the other show, on Hunker Down, I did pick Georgia over the Horns. I also just like doing that. I do think Georgia is the superior team over Texas. I think Arch Manning is heating up and he's showing that he is really good. I think it's because they've opened more of the playbook. I also think that is why Gunnar Stockton is doing better as well. I think you start vanilla and you've got those 20 plays, and then the next week it was 25, and then maybe it was 32, and then by now you're really opening up that playbook. And I think all the problems that you had either with Gunnar Stockton's performance or with offense coordinator Mike Bobo as far as his play calling, I think it had to do with just learning the playbook and opening it up as you go. So I think you're going to see a really good matchup, a really good battle, but I think Georgia should, going away, take that one. Iowa at USC looks like a fun, juicy matchup there. Both of them ranked, both of them within a win of each other. 3:30 on the Big Ten Network. By the way, Georgia and Texas is at 7:30 on ABC. I should be home in time to see that. But 3:30 on the Big Ten Network, Iowa and USC. I think that's going to be really good. I believe I picked that show on picked that one on Hunker Down as well. I got Iowa. I got Iowa going to go in there and punch USC right in the mouth, and I think they're going to hand them their third loss of the year. You can have 2 7-3 teams, and both of them be ranked right next to each other, probably around 18, 19. I think that's where they're at as far as that. Alabama, Oklahoma might be pretty good. 3:30 on ABC. Number 11 ranked Oklahoma versus number 4 Alabama. I think 4 is a little high for Alabama. I think them and Georgia, you could flip them. They're they're pretty similar. Dog fans can get mad if they want, but both those teams are really good. I could see both of them making a playoff somewhere down the road. But this is down at Tuscaloosa. I think Oklahoma's playing really good, but I think Alabama is probably going to, lack of a better way to say it, they're going to roll. They're going to roll in this one. I think Alabama wins by 7 to 10 points. Probably 10 points. I'm going to say they win by 10. It might be 41-31 or something, but Alabama should win that particular matchup. And was there another one? I don't see. There was another one I saw that I really liked. Oh, there it is. Number 9 Notre Dame versus number 22 Pitt. Pitt's got to have it. Pitt's got to have it. If they want any chance, they basically have two chances to make two chances to get in the hunt or to be completely out of it, to be in the ACC title game. They've got to beat Notre Dame, which they will have at home. That's a noon kickoff on ABC. and they've got to beat Georgia Tech. And if Pitt can do those two things, if they can go 2-0 in those games, they're probably the second team in the ACC championship. I got Notre Dame. I want Pitt to do well. I think this is another game we picked on Hunker Down. I want Pitt to do well, and this is not to clear the deck for Georgia Tech, but I just think Notre Dame is just a little better than Pitt. And even on the road, I think Notre Dame is and off the bright lights of NBC, by the way, I think that's going to help Notre Dame, and I think they are going to beat Pitt by. I like the number 7 to 10 right now, probably by a score or by 2 scores. We'll say it that way, 8 to 10 points. But those are just some other fun games. I mean, Michigan Northwestern should be kind of fun. There's um, Arizona Cincinnati. That's a game we talked about on the other show too. Virginia Duke. Duke could kind of spoil Virginia their bid to try to get in the ACC as well. Duke needs one more win to qualify for a bowl game. I mean, just a lot of stuff on the line. Utah and Baylor should be really good. TCU, BYU, there's some really good matchups this week. So, definitely watch the Tech game and cheer on the Techies and the Jackets with all they're doing up at Boston College. But a lot of other fun games this weekend. So try to catch a couple of them. Maybe go check a wrestling show. Maybe say hi to a stranger or hold a door. Just try to be a good person. But other than that, we've reached the end of the show. Thanks for tuning in to another great edition of Up with the White and Gold. For John Watts, GA Tech John Watts, I am Jeremy the Impact York. We will see you guys next week. Deuces, gooses, go Techies.